I didn't believe in ghosts, not really. Sure, I'd heard the stories. Who hadn't? But they were just tales told by drunkards and attention seekers. So when I moved into the old house at the edge of the woods, I wasn't worried about the whispers. They say it's haunted, my friend Marcus had warned, glancing at the peeling paint and boarded up windows. People hear things, see things. I shrugged. It's just an old house. I'll fix it up, sell it, and make a profit. No big deal. Marcus shook his head, muttering something about me always needing to learn the hard way. I ignored him. The truth was, the house had a certain charm, even in its decay. The tall windows, the wraparound porch, the sprawling oak trees, it all felt inviting. The first few days were uneventful. The place needed a lot of work: leaky pipes, creaky floorboards, and a strange smell in the basement. But I chalked it up to the house's age. By the end of the week, I'd settled into a routine: work during the day, clean and repair the house at night. It started on a Thursday. I was in the living room, sanding the wooden floors. The sun had set hours ago, and the only light came from the lamp I'd set up in the corner. The bulb flickered once, then again. I frowned. Great, I muttered, setting down my tools. Before I could reach the lamp, the bulb flared brightly, buzzing like an angry wasp. Then it exploded, plunging the room into darkness. Perfect, I said, brushing shards of glass from my shirt. I grabbed my phone for light and headed to the kitchen to find a replacement bulb. That's when I heard a faint creak from upstairs. I froze. The sound came again, louder this time, like footsteps crossing the floor above me. My heart raced, but I forced myself to think logically. The house was old. Old houses creak. That's all it was. Still, I grabbed a wrench from the counter before making my way upstairs. The hallway was empty, its shadows long and deep. At the end of the corridor, one door stood slightly ajar. I was sure I'd closed it earlier. "Hello?" I called, my voice steady despite the chill crawling up my spine. No answer. I pushed the door open with the wrench, revealing a small bedroom. Dust motes danced in the beam of my phone's flashlight. The air felt colder here, the kind of cold that sinks into your bones. Then I saw it, a single footprint in the dust, leading to the window. I backed out of the room, slamming the door shut behind me. I didn't sleep that night, and by morning, I'd convinced myself it was a prank. Maybe Marcus was messing with me. He knew how to get under my skin. But the next night, things got worse. I was in bed, scrolling through my phone, when I heard a knock. Not on the front door, on my bedroom door. I stared at the closed door, my breath catching in my throat. Knock. Knock. Who's there? I whispered, my voice barely audible. No answer. The knob twisted slowly, and the door creaked open a crack. My phone's flashlight illuminated the empty hallway beyond. "Hello?" I called, louder this time. Nothing. I got up, clutching the wrench I'd left by my bed. The hallway was silent, but as I turned to close the door, I noticed something written on the wall in faint, jagged letters. "Get out." I stumbled back, my heart hammering in my chest. My first instinct was to run to grab my keys and leave the house for good. But something held me back. Anger, maybe. This was my house. Whatever was happening, I wasn't going to let it scare me off. I spent the next day installing cameras around the house. If someone was sneaking in, I'd catch them. That night, I stayed awake, watching the monitors. For hours, nothing happened. The cameras showed empty rooms, motionless hallways, and the occasional flicker of static. Then, just past midnight, the basement camera went dark. I grabbed my phone and headed downstairs, my wrench tucked into the waistband of my jeans. The basement was colder than usual, the smell stronger. The light bulb above the stairs flickered as I descended, casting long, jittery shadows. At the bottom, the air felt thick, heavy. My phone's flashlight caught something on the wall, scratches, deep and jagged, forming words. "Leave now." I turned to run, but something caught my eye. In the corner of the room, half hidden by shadows, stood a figure. It was tall, its limbs unnaturally long, its face obscured by darkness. But its eyes glowed like embers, burning into me. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. The figure stepped closer, its movements jerky, inhuman. And then it spoke, its voice a low, guttural rasp. "You shouldn't be here." The next thing I knew, I was outside, gasping for air. My phone was still in my hand, but the basement door was closed, and the house was silent. I didn't go back inside. Not that night. The next morning, I watched the camera footage. It showed me walking into the basement, flashlight in hand. Then, static. When the video resumed, I was outside, staring at the house. I sold the place a week later, barely breaking even. I didn't care. I just wanted to be rid of it. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear the voice. "You shouldn't be here." And I wonder if I ever really left.